All right, let's remind folks of the poll question. I want to see where it is at the moment. I'm going to walk over to my little special monitor. Yep, it looks like outcoached is now the leader in the clubhouse. Very few people saying the ref stole it. Actually, more people saying the ref stole it than blaming the offense. Okay, still, I'll give you credit when it's not leading. So, all right, keep playing, keep hitting the button for us. All right, let's take a look. Josh Heupel can't win on the road. There are his road games at Tennessee, true road games. I'm not counting bowls and neutral sites and all that stuff. That's the game and the point differential. In 2021, they lost. The Red, of course, lost by 24 and 28. Florida and Alabama beat Missouri and Kentucky. In 2022, won at Pittsburgh in overtime, beat LSU by 27 at Tiger Stadium at a day game, lost Georgia by 14, South Carolina by 25, whipped Vanderbilt. 2023, last year, lost to Florida, Alabama, Missouri. This year, you've lost to Arkansas and Georgia. Josh Heupel is 7-9 overall on the road, Tennessee. He's 2-5 the last 2 years. My question, coaches always get hung with labels. You have to break it before you get it. Philip Fulmer can't beat Florida.
Johnny Majors couldn't beat Alabama.
Yeah, Bobby Bowden, Tom Osborne can't win the big one. Until you do it, you can't do it. That's what you have to deal with. Can't win the big one, can't win on the road, blah, blah, blah. Is it fair? Because people are saying it. Is it fair to say Josh Heupel can't win on the road? It's out there. Whoever wants to jump on it.
Totally fair. And if you look, when they lose on the road, they lose pretty solidly. I mean, double-digit losses, except for the Arkansas game, was the only one they didn't lose by double digits. So I don't think it's fair. It's just true. I mean, it's the way it is.
You're looking at reality. Yeah. I mean, until you do it, and you mentioned Fulmer couldn't beat Florida, Johnny Majors. I remember when we were in that span of Alabama, you could tell it bugged him. You could tell. I mean, he came out. I think our year that we should have easily won. He came out with little red caps for the scout team, and I'm like, what is this? You start putting focus on it,
yeah.
and it's true. And so what I see right now is that the case? It is until you do it.
Okay.
Well, it's just, the other thing is it's always a stinker in November, right? I mean, you have one of these games like a South Carolina and those
Let's
ones.
Deal with the one label at a time.
I'm just saying, but it's on the road when those games happen, and you're getting outplayed. So yeah, I think it's part of it. I think it's the label.
Is it fair to say Josh Heupel has a stinker in November?
Yes, absolutely.
A lot of us do.
Jimmy.
I'll be the dissenting vote, because if you said can't win on the road is different than can't consistently win on the road. You won it at LSU the year LSU won the West Division. You scored what, 62 on Missouri? You beat Pitt at Pitt.
You won at Oklahoma in a big game for him early in the season.
Yeah, now we didn't know Oklahoma wasn't going to be that good.
Yeah.
So if you phrase it can't win on the road, I'm going to disagree. If you say can't consistently win on the road, I'll go with that.
Can't appreciably win on the road. Yeah, okay.
Night game.
That's
too.
what
But LSU wasn't a night game.
I would just say, I will go the opposite and say, I'm not going to go there yet. Because who is winning on the road in this conference?
Right.
That's the thing. It's one of those deals where we look at this coach, because we cover this coach, but if you take the 1,000-mile view, well, Georgia beat Kentucky by 1 on the road. They got absolutely whipped in the first half and came back, but still lost on the road at Alabama. Got destroyed at Ole Miss. Yeah. So Kirby Smart can't win on the road. I mean, so you could say that about a lot of teams.
LSU lost to Florida.
LSU lost to Florida yesterday. Yeah, I mean, Texas A&M was rolling. They went to South Carolina and got crushed.
Missouri got beat on the road. I mean,
Alabama at Vanderbilt.
Yeah.
So I just think when you look around the league, and we'll show you these numbers coming up, if everybody's basically 8-2, all the good teams are basically 8-2. There's one that's 9-1. It's hard for me to say that it's Heupel can't do it, because none of them are really doing it.
But
granted,
that still means Heupel can't do it.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go.
Consistently.
Yeah. The big tough games, right? I mean, you can beat Kentucky on the road, and you go and you beat Missouri when they weren't that great, but still at the same time, you got to win the big one on the road.
Well, that's just it. The big one is the one you lose.
But
is what Bobby Bowden always said.
I also think that a couple of them have been, you've laid eggs. Last year down at Florida, you were a better football team. You went to Florida and lost.
That's true.
When you lost to South Carolina, you were a better football team and went to South Carolina and lost. Now, as me and you talked last night, South Carolina won the big game in 22 until you lost.
Yeah, when you lost,
then it became
yes.
a big game. But still, I think this team plays appreciably worse on the road.
I agree with that. But again, I can't say you can't win on the road.
Yeah.
You were 7-9.
Probably won't win on the road.
Consistently.
Might not win on the road.
Can't consistently win on. Look, we talked about earlier this year. I've had Ollie Lane on the Saturday show talk about the fact that there is something to it. The interesting thing this year is they're not really running as much tempo as they ever have in the past anyway, but it's the tempo that takes a hit when you go on the road. So that's always going to be there. Yeah. So I think that part of it does raise concerns moving forward that let's say you do get to be 10-2 every year, but when you go on the road, your offense is going to slow back down because you can't get tempo with a crowd noise.
I think that's a fair point. Here's the other thing, too. When Georgia, it was great winning national championships, and Alabama, they would go on the road and win. But that's because they were so dang good. Yeah. Tennessee's not at that level.
No, and I also wonder if they could do that. I mean, a lot of those national championship teams they had went 12-1. They would have a loss somewhere in there. But I just wonder, and we'll get into this, is anybody going to be at that level in this conference moving forward?
It's going to be tough, isn't it?
It's like a mini NFL. I just think we might need to change the way we view the league. But go ahead.
Will and I were talking about it. I mean, credit Sankey, he's created this massive beast, and it's spun out of control now. And it's like, if you're 2 losses in the SEC, you're probably better than most of the other conference champions.
Than
to be
Indiana.
honest.
But but is the committee going to take that into consideration?
It doesn't look like it.
Way to go,
like
Sankey.
Yeah, so schedule your Kent States. All right, when we come back, how much confidence do our guys have that this coaching staff can identify and sign special receivers and O-linemen? Come on back.